Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And this morning we have yet another amazing guest. We're going to be talking to Allie, who's calling in from the Virgin Islands. So I'm really excited to talk to her from there. She's going to be sharing her unique angle on content and her unique niche. She's a local TV show producer, and she's going to be sharing also the power of storytelling for YouTube growth. She's a mentorship client. Many of you were on the call yesterday, and you heard me talk with Dawn about the mentorship program. It's strictly and solely around accountability. And we'll touch on that a bit more today. The bottom line that I talked about yesterday was sometimes you need to hire the experts that you need to get you to the next level instead of hoping and wishing that they're already in your life, right? Most of us do not have accountability oriented professional experts who do this for a living. We have, our buddies or our girlfriends or our parents or our uncles and cousins, and we that now want to start a business and expect that we're going to have the support that we need in our life in order to help us get to the level that we want to get. And it's not realistic to expect that. As a matter of fact, what's realistic is to expect that people are going to doubt, second guess, criticize, and not understand, because they do criticize and are afraid of things that they don't understand. And so if you want to get to the next level, one of the things that I've done in my life over the past decade is start hiring the experts that can help me get to the next level, whether that is in my personal life. Allie's going to be talking about sobriety today. Well, I'm sober and have been in recovery for 15 years. There was nobody in my life when I first got sober that could help me to stay sober. I had to go and I had to seek those experts, seek those coaches, those therapists, those sponsors, those people who could help me. And so if you want a free accountability coaching call to have a discussion about what accountability might look like with an expert, a program that we have here inside of Legendary to help you to get on the right track and implement the information that you need, then you can email me right now. And yesterday I interviewed Dawn, our accountability mentor, or one of them. If you want a free coaching call with her, email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com and start to be curious about the results that you could get when you start to seek out and actually hire the experts and the professionals that can help you get to the next level. No Olympian, the Olympics just ended, went to their neighbor and said, "Can you help me train for the Olympics?" That would be insane. So why would we do that inside of our business? Well, some of us do. And then we get mad when our friends and family and neighbors and so forth aren't supportive or don't know how to help us. They shouldn't know. But somebody who's an expert and a professional and who does it every day could help. So get curious about that and email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com if you are curious and want to try to look into and actually experience for free. The accountability mentorship program comes at an investment, of course, but experience it. Dip your toe for free to see what that might look like. Have a conversation and make a decision about what's best for you. With that being said, all the way from the British Virgin Islands, Allie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, everyone. Great to be here.
It's my pleasure to have you, and welcome to the show. You are calling in from the Virgin Islands. You mentioned that your power is a little bit shaky this morning, so we'll go with the flow. We're grateful to have you on for as long as we can have you.
Yeah, totally. I'm so pumped to be here, and everything you were saying, kind of leading up to me coming on here, I was thinking, man, preach, because it's so true. And I just have so much gratitude this morning.
What about what I just said was true, and did you also experience inside of your life as you have been building businesses? You're a producer on a TV show down there. You're also now building an online business. Did you experience some of that doubt, fear, criticism, lack of understanding from people around you? Oh, um, have you experienced some of what I just talked about on that intro? And give us a little bit of context there, and then we'll talk about how you actually got started here online and what your motivation was.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I can relate to so much of what you just said. Um, with my show. So I'm the producer and TV host of this show here in the US Virgin Islands. It's called VI Tings. I've been a journalist for over 15 years and started from learning how to open a tripod to here's how you hold a camera, and doing whatever I had to do to pay my dues and learn and grow in the business. And I began that show out of what really felt like a rock bottom. And, you know, I know we all go through rock bottoms in life. And, what comes to mind is beauty from ashes, from being down and feeling really down in life, just digging in and thinking, okay, I got to do it. We're just pulling really from deep within. And, that connects to what, you were sharing about too with sobriety. And for me I'm almost 7 years sober. October 7th will make 7 years.
Mm.
And, that also started from a very, probably one of the rockiest bottoms I've ever had in my life. But, again, we all go through these things. And sometimes we reach points where we're like, I got to fight for my life here. Like I got dreams, I got things I want to do. And there's something deep within that says, I'm not giving up. I'm just going to go for it. And with Legendary Marketer, like that's how I felt. I came into this incredible program in January and did the 15-day challenge, and then didn't execute it right away. And
Mm.
actually, kind of bringing this a little full circle, I was watching Wake Up Legendary, and I heard you, and I think it was Bonnie, talk about the free complimentary accountability call. And I just thought to myself, bingo, like that's what I need.
Mm. Yeah. Well, you know, just because we're successful in other areas of our lives doesn't mean that we're automatically going to come in here and be successful with starting our own business, particularly in an area that's new or different, right? Online marketing is for many people like learning a second language. And sometimes you need a language coach. Sometimes reading the manuals is enough, sometimes it's not. For me, and I'm successful in say, for example, business, but I tried for many years to get into the gym and get a workout routine and was unsuccessful. Now that doesn't mean I'm a failure. It means I need some accountability. And so I ended up hiring a personal trainer, not so much to teach me how to work out, because I had an idea at least. I did learn some things, much more than I realized, but it was mainly just to get me to the gym. It was mainly to get me in, 3 times a week, no matter what, rain or shine. If I canceled, I was going to pay for the session because usually I was canceling late. And so I would show up, and I got into a habit and a routine of learning how to work out and learning how to show up. So I'm glad that resonated with you. You're in our mentorship group. There's a wonderful community blooming and blossoming in there of over 100 people now. And you're going to meet some amazing friends and connections. And there's a possibility that some of your longtime, lifelong friends are going to come out of that group. And our goal is and hope is at the end of 6 months, you're going to look back and say, this was the biggest season of business growth I've ever had. That's our goal, or one of the biggest seasons. And I feel like you're well on your way to doing that right now. Let's talk a little bit about what got you into this online marketing world in the first place. You're a successful TV show producer. I like that tings. It's kind of a, that's things for us in America. That,
Yeah, yeah. Tings apostrophe after the S. Tings. It's a ting, man. It's a ting.
right, right. So I mean, particularly, I'm interested about this topic and niche of sobriety. What got you motivated to want to get online and build a business in the first place? And how did you come to this conclusion that you were going to talk about sobriety?
Wow. Those two things are connected, but they came at different times. So last year, 2023, in the summer, I was looking at approaching 6 years sober. And I'm on TV here in the Virgin Islands, and also in the Caribbean and different US markets. Um, I had not shared publicly on social media that I was sober,
Mm,
um, but it was something that was really stirring in my heart because one thing for me, and a promise that, I mean, I think I've always felt this way, but certainly in sobriety, is to show up as the most authentic version of myself and to do everything in my life with as much authenticity, to keep it real, to reach people, to speak the truth that I know. And it was something I really wanted to share. And so I did. And I created a YouTube channel, Spilling the Sobriety, last summer.
mm,
And it's awesome. The reception towards everybody hearing that I was sober has been, I'm so grateful for it. It was nerve-wracking to share that because, you know, but that's the thing about fear, Dave. Fear isn't real. Fear is this thing that we feel it. It feels real, but the fear really isn't real. I mean, there was so much love on the other side of that. And so from Spilling the Sobriety, the YouTube channel, that really kind of got the wheels turning. And I thought to myself, I really want to help people, especially women though, who want to get sober, they want to change their life, they want radical transformation, because that's where I was when I hit rock bottom in 2017. In fact, it was actually, this month is the 7-year anniversary of that. It was September of 2017. I had suffered a head injury a few months prior from playing volleyball, of all things. Got hit in the head, and there you go. That's how the universe works. And I was on a lot of pain medication. It was so hard to work. And at the time, I wasn't here in the Virgin Islands. I was living in Louisiana, and I actually wasn't even in TV news at that point. And I was working a sales job, but with my head injury, the migraines, I mean, my face would feel like it was on fire. I couldn't, it was hard to work. And I know my job was they were trying to be as understanding as possible, but by September of 2017, my numbers weren't that great. They fired me.
mm,
And so I thought to myself, all right, just been fired. My finances weren't good. Um, had my concussions. The next day, Dave, because, as we were talking about, my family is here in the US Virgin Islands. The very next day after being fired, a catastrophic Cat 5 hurricane hit St. Thomas,
mm,
direct impact, devastated everything. This was Hurricane Irma. So this
mm,
was a few weeks before Hurricane Maria. Maria also hit the Virgin Islands too. And, as we know, devastated Virgin Islands, British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. So I went from getting fired, head injury, I was about to lose health insurance, broke, and I had no home to go back to. And I was living alone. That was rock bottom for me.
mm,
And prior to all of that, that year, I knew alcohol had become a bigger problem in my life. And I literally got down to my knees and was just crying life, just crying the word life. And I think sometimes in life, when you've reached rock bottom, the only thing you could think of is just shouting the word life, and
mm,
you're just fighting for it in that moment. And from there, got up, tried to do the next best thing. Where I'm going with this was, within a week, Dave, may sound crazy, within a week things in my life started to become restored. I went to a physical therapist. My head felt better. And it was like, feeling like I had control of my body again. And I heard the words, don't drink.
Mm.
And it was one of the most spiritual, powerful moments in my life. Um, and I just knew that sobriety was going to be my North Star. And my last sip of alcohol was on October 7th, 2017. And I haven't looked back since. Since then, so many things in my life, dreams, goals, aspirations have come to fruition, have come to the fold. And life isn't perfect. I'm taking on digital marketing and I'm learning so much. And um, but I'm doing it. And sobriety has helped me do that. So to answer your question, why am I, getting into the sobriety niche and digital marketing? It all kind of like gels together in a lot of ways, because this is with digital marketing, this is how I can reach more people.
Mm.
This is how I can build more impact, in addition to the YouTube channel. And, sobriety is the space that I really feel called to, because if I could help one woman out there, or one person, but if I could help one person out there, uh, I mean, that feels so good, because I remember what it was like.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my superpowers for sure is sobriety. So I hope that, during this conversation, we can both talk about your marketing and business journey, but also, as I've asked people at the beginning, to become curious about what having some additional accountability in your business life may look like. I also ask that you all become curious about what cutting out some of your so-called vices in your life might look like, especially as you start this journey of entrepreneurship. How might that influence or impact your life? How much space is alcohol, is drugs? And there's a plethora of vices that we have as human beings, from porn addiction to tobacco addiction to drug addiction to gambling addiction to lots of things in between. There's, I think, over, if I'm you know fact check me on this, but over 400 12-step groups of different topics in the world. There's so many different things that people feel addicted to. People feel addicted to people. We feel addicted to unhealthy and abusive relationships. We feel addicted to, many of us are codependent, which is a kind of a form of being addicted to people pleasing.
Yep.
So, obviously there's some low hanging fruit, and my recovery started off with looking at the low hanging fruit. Okay, what's dominating my life? What's causing me the most unmanageability? Well, for me, it was pretty obvious. I mean, it was drugs, and it caused me legal issues. It caused me uh, health issues. It caused me the inability to be able to hold a job, have a job, make money, take care of myself or my children. Um, your symptoms may not be as drastic as mine. I was a street drug addict from about 15 years old to about 24 when I got clean. However, my dad was a functional alcoholic for 30 years of his life. He actually got sober 6 months after I got clean. I actually crawled up onto his doorstep and asked him to help me save my life. And I slept on his couch for 6 months watching him, go to work a construction job and come home and drink an 18 pack every night. And finally, he just was like, wow, I got a problem. My son's and I'm not going to tell his story for him, but he's been sober now for 15 years. And so it doesn't matter whether you're living under a bridge. In this case, maybe alcohol, drugs, some sort of a toxic gambling or relationship addiction is keeping you from really following through with your business goals. And nowadays, I'll tell you, it's cool to be sober, people. It is becoming
It
cool to
is.
have your shit together. and not be hanging out bellied up at a bar or smoking pot until you're just stupefied, chilling out, relaxed. If anybody knows about marijuana culture, it's you guys down in the islands, right? But
Yeah.
but that's not very conducive to building a business and staying focused and being productive. And so I just invite those of you who are listening to this to kind of take inventory of your life and ask yourself, is something holding me back that I can actually control? Which is, yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, I can't imagine my life without having a glass of wine or a drinking beer every night or smoking pot every day. But how much is that actually holding me back, and who might be hiding under that layer as I peel back that layer of the onion? What version of myself might be hiding and being held back because I'm dedicating so much energy in dumbifying myself down with this particular substance? Does that resonate with you?
Uh, ev- everything, 1,000, 100,000%. I knew there was stuff, Dave, that I had to get to. I had to work on in myself. I was on this hamster wheel, and I knew I was not going in the right direction. I knew quitting alcohol would at least give me finally the space and the opportunity to look within. We all got stuff, we all got baggage, all got shit. and but giving up alcohol, I could finally truly look at my shit, and take ownership of it and work on it, and working on myself, working on my mindset, building a whole new lifestyle where I could be a better, higher version of myself. Now I can start to look towards the future and say, okay, what is it that I really want to do in life? Because it wasn't the sales job that I was in. Where do I want to be geographically? Who do I want to be around? Everything, relationships. Everything. I couldn't get there until I got rid of the stuff. So when you say yes, like, look at what your vices are, look what's holding you back, look what's taking up space in your life. It may not even be dramatic. It could be just binging on Netflix, which, hey, been there too, right? But look at what's taking up space in your life that's holding you back. Because for me, because I can only speak for myself, but I think this might resonate. It's really a form of self-sabotaging. You're afraid, at least I was, maybe others too, who can relate, but I was afraid of being the best version. I wanted to be the best version. I was afraid of being that version. Because what if I try and what if I fail? Then what? Then my ego and my heart is trying to keep me safe. So if I don't try, then I'll never fail. But if I never try, then I'll never succeed either. You see? So it's like, um, it giving up alcohol for me was being able to see the forest from the trees, kind of taking the foggy glasses off. The version of my It's funny, Dave, when I scroll back through pictures, like old pictures from 2015, 2016, and I look and I'm like, wow, that was a whole different woman. This
Yeah.
just this everything. And now, this year, I said to myself, I want to change my life this year. I have my show VI Tings, which I love, and it's a great way to celebrate my culture here in the Virgin Islands. But I want to do more than that. And I knew sobriety was a space I wanted to move into. And so signing up for our accountability group, I think I told Bonnie in our call, I just said, look, Bonnie, I'm all in. I'm doing this. And yeah, I didn't do anything for about 4 or 5 months, but okay, that was then. This is now. And I'm not going to squander this time. I'm not going to let 4 or 5 months go by and in January or February think to myself, all right, now I'm going to start. And if you do start in January, February, okay, that's your journey. But like I said to myself, no, I'm going to use 2024. I'm all in. I'm going to do it. And Dave, what I feel right now, and this is my prayer and hope to anybody out there who's watching, you feel that fire. You feel that I'm not going to give up type of thing, you know? And yes, there are some tougher moments. I was posting on TikTok last night. The power went out again. You know, I'm looking at my phone. I'm thinking, okay, I hope my phone battery doesn't die before I can post on TikTok or, you know, Instagram or whatever. Actually, it was Instagram, not TikTok. But anyway, it's it's just a deep within. I'm just not giving up, and I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
and knowing what my why is.
Well, there's a lot of fear at the beginning of a business when the money's not rolling in right away and bills are still coming. And we're thinking, okay, what is this? You know, our brains kind of do basic math and say, is this time equating to money? You know, we really think like we've been trained to think. I want to say that again. We think exactly how we've been trained to think. Good little boys and good little girls getting good little grades, getting good little jobs. You work, you get paid. You work, you get paid. The paycheck is the drug that keeps you broke. It keeps you going back. It's sort of like crack. It's highly addictive. The boss gives you a paycheck, you keep coming back. The boss gives you a paycheck, you keep coming back. Now I want to start a business. Okay. Shit, I'm buying stuff. This is foreign, first of all. I'm buying stuff. I never bought anything for a job. I never invested in any education or coaching or anything for a job. Hold on a second. I'm supposed to get trained for a job. Now all of a sudden I'm working and I'm not getting that weekly paycheck. Whoa, this feels weird. This doesn't make sense. Why am I doing this? Anxiety's piling up. Then, to add insult to injury, as we're talking about, I need a drink. I need a joint. You know, I need a pill. I need to go gamble, or I need to go to the bar. I need a night out.
Netflix.
I need to go watch, you know, binge on some Netflix. You know, and honestly, it's like if Netflix is your vice, then and you know, I'm going to give you a pass on that one. Honestly,
It's hard. It's hard.
As long as you're doing something else, you know. But it's like we can't be so hard on ourselves. I never woke up in the morning unless I stayed up too late. Now this is a problem. One of the things that I realized that if you want to talk about a problem, an unmanageable behavior, I was watching TV and falling asleep on my couch and not getting good sleep. That was a problem. That actually was a destructive behavior that I had to change, right? So if watching TV into the night is not allowing you to get sleep, then that's a problem. But you know what? Entrepreneurship is a doorway when you're building a business that's going to show you all of your weaknesses. And it's going to highlight where you need to grow. So is sobriety. Sobriety and entrepreneurship for me have gone hand in hand, because once I clear away all of the medication and all of the kind of distracting things, and now I'm sitting here with myself and my feelings and my mind, I get to see what really is the kind of stock version of David. Not without all the upgrades, the 22-inch wheels, the big loud sound system, the candy paint, you know, all the extras, right? What's just the stock box version of Dave, right? Okay, wow. Whoo! I got a lot of fear. I got a lot of anxiety. I have catastrophic thinking. I have racing thoughts. I have limiting beliefs. Oh, shit. I can either choose to work through that, or I can try to find a workaround. And the workaround is, you know what? This is too much. Let me go grab a drink. Or this is too much. Let me go grab some Netflix and fall asleep on the couch. But entrepreneurship, even if you're not going to delve into sobriety, if you don't, you know, sobriety is a choice. Entrepreneurship is also a choice, but many of you are here already starting your entrepreneurship journey. Embrace what entrepreneurship brings up in your life and lean into it instead of run away from it. It's kind of like the accountability thing. It's like, oh shit, I'm starting a business and I can't hold myself accountable to take the actions every day. What a revelation. What a thing for me to know about myself is that I have a hard time with accountability. Maybe that's why I keep going back to shitty jobs to have somebody else do the thinking for me, is because I can't hold myself. So I need to work on that. If I'm ever going to be more free, then I need to address the fact that I can't hold myself accountable. I got no discipline. That's going to take some time. Maybe I need to get some help on that. Maybe I need to hire somebody to help me with accountability. Same thing with sobriety. Thankfully, I got sober before I started my business. I actually got sober, worked construction with my dad for a year, and was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And so I started, delving into entrepreneurship and kind of stumbled my way onto the internet and learned these skills back, 15 years ago. But friends, we talk about this mentorship program that we've launched and it's been a real hit with a lot of our clients. It's a 6-month program. My question is if you really addressed your life in the biggest weaknesses in your personality for over the next 6 months, instead of constantly avoiding them like you may have done your entire life, avoiding the fact that you have no discipline or little discipline, avoiding the fact that you aren't following through, avoiding the fact that you're afraid to put yourself out there on the internet or on camera because you're afraid of people. Avoid. Instead of avoiding, what if the next 6 months you said, look, I'm going to run towards everything I'm afraid of, and I'm going to do everything that I can to try to become the absolute best version of myself. These 6 months, I'm going to suffer through it. Now, what you'll find is once you start to make that commitment to suffering at the beginning and getting uncomfortable, that suffering is going to turn into breakthroughs. You're going to realize, oh shit, just like me. When I first got sober, I was like, I can never drink or drug again. Life is going to be so boring.
Yes.
And then I realized as I had 30, 60, 90 days clean, holy shit, I'm having more fun than I've ever had in my entire life.
Bingo.
And the same thing will happen with your business if you make the decision to get uncomfortable for the first. It's gonna be uncomfortable when you press post on that video that you've been avoiding posting, or you continue to market even when you're having financial insecurity and thinking that it's not working out, or when you push yourself to be more polarizing in your marketing or be more vulnerable or do something that you feel uncomfortable doing. Yes, it's going to feel like somebody's poking your eyeballs out with a fork at first. But eventually, within 30 days or so, you're actually going to have started to develop something called self-esteem and confidence and identity. And you're going to be like, holy shit, this actually feels good. This isn't as scary as I thought. Who give a little criticizing comment? Get out of here. Get off of me, you little mosquito. Get off of me, you little mosquito, right? And you're going to just start moving and grooving. And all of a sudden you're going to look back and you're going to say, why in the did I wait so long to start making some of these changes and be a little bit more bold in my life? Anyways, I'm ranting. Does this idea of kind of getting uncomfortable to find a new comfort level, even if you have to suffer in the first few weeks or months to find your new self, does that resonate with you?
Totally. And like you were sharing, sobriety and entrepreneurship, and it could, for other people could be other things, but there's parallels in that. The first month of not drinking, there were a lot of tears. it was not comfortable. I had all kinds of racing thoughts and everything. It was hard. I mean, I could talk forever on that, but story for another day. In entrepreneurship, when you up level in life and you're trying to take your life to the next level, you're right. It's gonna feel a little sticky because you're doing something different. If it didn't feel sticky, it probably would have already happened. But when our nervous systems, and that's a big thing for me in sobriety, in life, and in entrepreneurship, is regulating my nervous system. When your nervous system is getting acclimated to something bigger, something different, something new, it's going to take a little while for all of that to acclimate. For me, it's the big thing is just being consistent. Since joining our accountability group, this last month, I posted on Instagram twice a day on my Spilling the Sobriety account. Now, it's not, can't say, oh, I got thousands of millions of followers. No, but it's the consistency that I know is I'm building something here. That's it. I'm building. And it doesn't always happen like that. And in fact, another story for another day, Dave, but I almost don't even want everything to happen all at once because I want to grow. I want to be ready for it when it all happens. It's so true. It is so true. I mean, oh,
You're not ready. I love that. Thank you. I've rarely heard anybody say that. That's true wisdom that you're speaking right now.
yeah. And I know two things. It's gonna come. And two, I know what I want to do, which is make impact and just be out here in these streets talking and sharing. It's good. It's gonna happen. The thing about it is, for me, is a challenge for me has been that consistency. I've given up before. I've started things and I haven't
Yeah.
followed through.
You
So
know
this
what?
accountability, yeah, this accountability group is, and shout out Bonnie, that's my coach. And I also have another coach, Michelle Garavito, who's in our legendary marketer family as well. Two amazing women coaches, phenomenal people. For me, it's consistency and not giving up. That's where I know for my nervous system right now, that's the muscle I'm building. And keeping on reaching out, posting on TikTok now, getting my email list together, and all of those things. And I'm making progress in those areas, but it's the consistency, so that after 6 months, like you said, I can look back and think, wow, like I did that. I did that. And now going into 2025, I'm rocking and rolling. So I mean, my prayer.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what you're saying right here in terms of the fact that you're not ready for, most of us are not, for some massive business and tons of traffic and leads. And it's really about building a foundation at the beginning to even prepare yourself for the success that's coming your way. And what does that look like? Well, it just looks like testing things out in small sample sizes at the beginning. It's like any good sales funnel. If you put out a video or you started getting millions of visitors into your sales funnel and didn't even check to see if it was working correctly, then all of that traffic would be a waste. Similarly to how, if you had millions of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars rolling in at the beginning, now some of you may say, well, that'd be a dream, Dave. Yeah. And what's better is to be ready for it and have the systems in place for you to be able to manage that and be able to invest it appropriately. And not most people, if they made a bunch of money in their first couple of months in business, especially online, they would go in, they would spend it on dumb stuff, and it would all be gone, and then they'd be frustrated that all of their money was gone. Not to say you're not going to make some dumb decisions no matter when you start making money, but the point is I love this idea of having a realistic expectation. Look, I'm going to use these first few months to build a foundation, to really kind of learn to build the habits instead of expecting that the money is going to come just because I'm now deciding that I'm going to do something. The world is not, the world does not cater to our needs the moment that now we decide that we're going to start. It's like we have to earn the inertia and the respect and the momentum of the world by actually showing the world that we're going to be here, rain or shine, and they should start listening because we're not going away. There's a lot of businesses who have been in business for a long time, and you may think that they automatically had tons of success at the beginning, but the glory, not the story. You don't know what it was like for them their first year or two, the rejection, the work they had to put in. And we all have to come through that same front door, man. Stop looking for windows. Stop looking for back doors. Stop looking for shortcuts. And just be willing to put in the work, because I can tell you that one of the things about building real confidence in your life is that if you actually do it by putting in the work and earning it instead of it being handed to you, you will actually build real confidence that will carry you through life versus being essentially an imposter and getting lucky. And the reason why I believe a lot of people who win the lotto are broke not too long after they win the lotto is because they didn't really earn the money. They just got lucky. And so they, easy come, easy go. I didn't really earn it, so screw it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to blow it. I have conflicting feelings about having this money. I feel like an imposter. I just could imagine that there's a lot of internal conflict around just winning a bunch of money. Whereas if you earn the money through putting in the work and going through the initial suffering of getting uncomfortable and finding sort of your new groove, you're going to have a lot more appreciation when that first dollar comes in. You're going to have a lot more appreciation when you make that first $10,000, you have that first $10,000 month. You're going to be a lot more hesitant when you get that money to be spending that money and blowing that money on dumb stuff because you just worked your ass off to earn that money. And so instead of hoping and wishing that you're going to get lucky and win something, get excited about the process, fall in love with the process, fall in love with the idea of building real self-esteem and confidence. It's the same way that you get sober. I know you probably have heard this. One day at a time.
Yep. Yep.
One day at a time. There's no other way to do it. I know this is common sense, but it's like, how do you build success? How do you have success? One day at a time, one video at a time. That's how it's done. And you may need to fill in some of those cracks with some education, with some accountability, with some eliminating some destructive behaviors out of your life, like getting sober. These are all things that I've done and most successful people I know have done. I've had to get some education. I've had to hire some accountability. It sure as hell helped to be sober. If I didn't do any one of those three things, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. But that's been the sacrifice that I've made in order to earn the success that I have that nobody can take away from me. And I'll tell you what, that's a damn good feeling. And it gives me the confidence, which is the thing that most of you are lacking, right? You're lacking confidence because you feel imposter syndrome, because you haven't gone through the suffering. And then you medicate and numb out with whatever your vice is when it's not going the way that you want it to go. And you need to commit to going through the valley of desperation and despair at the beginning. One of the things that I learned in recovery was the gift of desperation. The gift of desperation, my friends, is one of the most powerful gifts. If you're feeling desperate right now, you are blessed, not cursed. It's all about how you see that. Maybe you see that desperation as I'm pathetic, but the truth is that desperation, God, the universe, whatever you believe, has put you in this very fragile, vulnerable place of feeling desperate, so you can show yourself what you're made out of, and that you can humble yourself to actually do what you need to do, and take the steps that are required in order to get to where you want to get to. That desperation is not a curse. That desperation is a gift that may make you become willing to do some things that you've never done, to get some things that you've never had.
Yep. Dave, darkest before the dawn. It is darkest before the dawn. And that dawn is the miracle that you've been waiting for. Straight up, straight up. 7 years ago, it was dark. It was dark. And the miracle was sobriety. That was really where I feel like a lot of my adult life has begun. And I had done great things prior to that. You know, TV jobs, I had an agent, won national awards, and it's not about the achievements, right? But when you're desperate, man, there's just something. There's a fire that starts. So it doesn't feel good, right? It's hard. It is hard. But if anybody's listening, and I know a lot of people are listening to this, but if this is resonating with you, just think, like, if you are going through that rock bottom, just hold on to the thought that this is when your miracle shows up. This is the breakthrough that you've been waiting for. Hold on. Hold on. You're in the cooker. There is something great in store for you, and it's super close. And it's big. It's like what feels rocky, what feels dark is almost equivalent to this amazing, beautiful blessing that is right there for your life. So just keep going. Everything you said, Dave, is just really, and I also wanted to add too, like, if it feels uncomfortable, if it feels like, man, I've been putting in a lot of work, you're early in your journey, like for me right now, this is what it should feel like. This is what it should feel like. Yeah, I think for me, looking back at times where I have given up, I didn't always realize that. I thought, oh, this is hard. Oh, maybe I'll just take a couple days off. No, you're right where you're supposed to be. If it feels hard and feels sticky, that's it. Keep going. Just keep going. And knowing I have my calls with Bonnie every week really, really helps for me. I was a college athlete. Golf is my sport. My first big dream in life was to be a professional golfer. And going back to what you were saying earlier, like just keep going, keep doing the stuff that, even if it feels hard or whatever. I mean, I did thousands of golf drills, club over my back, golf, worked on my swing. I mean, I did hours in the hot sun, sweating, just like burning up, just so, I mean, and that was hard, but it got me to championships. It got me to being ranked. It got me to being a college athlete, um, and it took from age 6 to 18 years and years getting to that point. And so what for me, when I think of that journey, and I also think of sobriety, and then in my entrepreneurship journey, I know what it feels like when things don't feel comfortable. And now what I'm telling myself is, all right, yeah, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Just stay in the course. Little golf analogy there, but yeah.
That's beautiful. Unbelievable point, and I love it. I love it. And we're going to leave it there. This has been an hour of power, and I am so grateful for this conversation with you. And I hope that if anybody else got something out of this, wonderful. But my hope is that you see the light that you are here from this experience, and use this as a jumping off point to continue to run with your business, your message, your sobriety, the path that you're on. People love you. People are so fired up from this conversation this morning. I'm inspired. And Allie, you, my friend, you stay legendary. And I'll see you back here in a couple of months to get another update, if that's cool with you.
the honor would be mine again. Thank you, Dave, so much for all you do, and so much love to everyone out there.
All right, Allie, we'll talk to you later. All right, my friends, what a conversation. I mean, there you have it. You never know what you're going to get on this show. I certainly don't. Totally unplanned, totally unscripted, absolutely from the heart. And I am loving that you all are loving it. Thank you for the amazing comments. That really is fuel for us here. And it's really wonderful when you're giving so much amazing kudos and thanks and support and love to the guest. I love that. I love that for our guest. I love that about you all. Thank you for being a supportive, amazing group here that is just absolutely just the most wonderful people to work around and be on this journey with. So thank you. You can want to give you a couple of just calls to action and reminders here at the end. So listen closely. Okay. If any of you are feeling called that you want to step your game up and get some accountability, or at least experience what having an accountability mentor might look like, you can email me directly at dave@legendarymarketer.com. Okay. You don't have to say anything in the email. Accountability call, interested in accountability, just the word accountability in it. Coaching, I'll know what you're talking about, and I will CC in one of our accountability mentors. Okay. We have an amazing, very small group. We've taken our absolute best people in our company. We do not outsource our accountability coaching to some call center or some outside people who we don't know. These are the top salespeople, executives, leaders inside of our company that we've gone to and specifically asked them to be accountability mentors, to give you, our clients, the same value, leadership, and accountability that they've brought to our company in order to help us to grow and get to where we're at. So we're giving you the best of the best. Okay. Many of you have seen these interviews with Eric, with Bonnie. I interviewed Dawn yesterday. These are the best of the best people. We'll give you a free complimentary accountability coaching call so you can experience what that process will look like. And then we'll give you the information and you can decide whether you want to take part in that. It's an amazing group. Allie's a part of that group as well. So take me up on that if you're feeling called or like that might be useful or valuable to you. You just email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com. Just free accountability coaching call. One word will do. I'll understand what you mean. Allie was such an inspiration this morning. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram at Spilling the Sobriety. She's also got a YouTube channel, Spilling the Sobriety. Okay. If that sobriety message resonated with you, then continue to plug into her content, because being inspired to get sober or even cut down on some of the vices that you have, and you can fill in the blank. Maybe it's pot, maybe it's some other drug, maybe it's food, maybe it's Netflix, as she said, maybe it's a relationship that's toxic that you feel addicted to, maybe it's alcohol. Whatever it is, imagine what your life might be like once you can get through the shitty part of withdrawing from it, but how free you might be without it. How free you might be without it. The other thing is we can help hold you accountable inside of our accountability mentorship group over a 6-month period to help you to stay accountable to your goals, business and personal. Consider that as well. Again, if you want a free accountability coaching call, just email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com. If you want to re-listen to this show, powerful one to re-listen to. This was one that you want to put in the back pocket. It'll be live here right on this Facebook page. Okay. The other place it'll be live is we upload all of our audios on all the major podcast platforms. Just type in "Wake Up Legendary" and you'll be able to find those. I want to thank Allie again for an amazing episode. Jeez. I mean, that thing, I'm ready to throw a dadgum table in here. I'm so fired up. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Be great, be blessed, be legendary. Get out of here. Peace.